UFC 266 saw Alexander the Great Volkanovski take on Brian Ortega in a featherweight thriller. And man, I am so impressed by Volk. And all I can say is Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. He repped the flag really well, man. There was a lot of tension coming into this fight. You know, the Ultimate Fighter exacerbated it. Obviously, we all saw what happened there and the tensions leading up there. I'm not gonna lie. You know, when we saw some of the lead up in the Ultimate Fighter, as well as the presses, the weigh-ins, it's not like Volt to act like that. It's I'm not gonna say it's un-Australian, but was he manufacturing a character? Maybe, maybe. They definitely seem to be a level of dislike. Anyway, the stakes were heightened for this fight. Man, at what point did people start putting respect in Alexander Volkanovski's name? Is he not the greatest featherweight of all time? Hold up, before I get absolutely flacked in the comments section below. Chad Mendes, Jose Aldo, the only individual to beat Max Holloway twice, and now Brian Ortega. And mate, you may not, a lot of people do not like his fighting style, say it's a very point fighting style. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Okay, maybe that is the absolute case. But say what you want about Volk, he gets things done. And I think this fight, we're not going to go through every detail of the fight, but man, this fight really showed the multiple layers and the multiple problems that he presents at any level. But I think more so ever in this fight, we saw the grit, determination, will, cut through. He is a perfect representation of the Australian spirit, and we saw that come through in this particular fight. And I can't say how impressed I am by this. Let's talk about the first round, guys. Look, there is no doubt from a stand-up perspective, Volkanovski presents with that City Boxing team a lot of problems, and they love their feints. Just great ringmanship, you know, putting Ortega in a corner. And to be honest, Ortega, I tell you what's really apparent. If Volkanovski was the size of Ortega from a height perspective, he would, I mean, he's ruling the roost of that division already, but he really does give a lot up in terms of reach there, but he's able to put people in such uncomfortable positions with his myriad of feints. He's constantly touching you. His ringmanship is amazing. And we saw that in round one. He was really able to put Ortega in a really uncomfortable position. 10-9. I think it was relatively set in stone. Round two was really interesting. And what I just could not for one understand is Ortega's willingness to exchange on the feet, and there is no doubt that, you know, round two was a much more tighter round. Heck, you know, he probably even won that one. But I think what was really apparent was Ortega never really tried to mix it up to initiate, you know, offensive takedowns, to potentially use jiu-jitsu, which I really thought would have been the way that Ortega would have approached this fight, potentially to get an upset. But look, let's go straight to rounds 3 and 4. And this is where I'm really hyper impressed by Volkanovski. The scrambles, the guillotine. Look, I know Volk is short. I know there's belly and neck there, but that guillotine, look, it looked tight. Volk is going to tell you it's tight, and it damn sure was tight. But, you know, Brian was on top of him. Let's just say that the dynamics to execute that guillotine, he probably couldn't get full extension from his legs like he would have liked if Brian was at the bottom of Ortega. But look, when he transitioned to that Das, I believe, and then look, when Brian Ortega got the triangle, locked it in all over Red Rover. That's what I thought. All freaking, oh, mate, that was it. And especially when Volkanovski dropped, I was thinking it was all over. But somehow he manages to fight it off, reverse the position, and land insane ground and pound, to the point where I don't think I mean, look, it's definitely happened within the UFC, but I have not seen for, in recent memory, a fighter take that long. And no, this is Ortega. This is a guy that can cop it from with the best. I mean, you only needed to see his face after the Holloway fight. He barely got up. And, you know, getting into the next round, I was almost of the opinion that he wanted an out. And he is such a tough guy that he gritted his way through. And in his defense, in the 5th round, he came back and he probably won that. He was swinging till the end. And say what you want about Brian Ortega, but he's stubborn. The guy's a dog. He's an absolute dog. He may not have the smartest of game plans, but he can stick to it and he can cop it with the best and give it back. But I'm just in awe of the different dynamics that Volkanovski is displaying as a fighter. Look, you want to be critical, you could say that he lacks the finishing power of a really entertaining champion, but, you know, screw that. Like, park that to the side. If you do not appreciate, if we can't appreciate the scrambles, if we can't appreciate the escapes, if we can't appreciate the reversals, the ground and pound, the feints, the non-stop 25-minute cardio pace. I mean, a lot of people talk about Colby Covington's pace. Volkanovski put on a pace on Brian Ortega, very similar to the likes of what Max Holloway did. And there's no doubt in my mind that those two sit right on top of that division. It's a 1A, and I wouldn't even say 1B, but man, it's just amazing, absolutely amazing what these guys are doing. And I am thoroughly impressed and excited about the next title reign for Alexander the Volkanovski, because for me, blind patriotism aside, and I've got the Australian Crocodile Dundee-esque hat to prove it, he was really impressive. He was really impressive, and he's only growing to his own, not only as a fighter, but as we saw in The Ultimate Fighter, as a character. He knows to extend his reach. He has to play a character. He's probably understanding that business side, and he's doing it well, guys. We have a good representative in Alexander the Great Volkanovski. What do you think, guys? Give it to me. Do you think Alexander is the greatest featherweight of all time? No? Yes? Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel. Put some comments below. Tell me what you think. For Ortega, it is a tough one. Calvin Kattar is a name that that springs to mind as his next fight, because I know that in this division a lot of the fights have been lined up. But man, Alexander Volkanovski, he's just absolutely impressed me today. Absolutely.